Hi, I am Steph Schuler, and this is Real and Raw, and this is our first episode. We are so excited. I have my co-host here, Heather Sneed, and I'll tell you a little bit about, first of all, what we're going to be talking about today. It's going to be about water fasting and how both of us have actually done it. I've been doing it for several years, as Heather has as well, and just the benefits that we've both received from doing this. I know it's a lot of people, look at it and they say, "Oh my God, I can't believe you do that," or "That's dangerous." So anyway, we're going to definitely deep dive into that. And who am I? This is like I said, our first podcast, so I guess a little introduction would be good. I'm Steph, and I have been an energy worker. I'm a Reiki master, as well as have had several different businesses over the last 15 years. A lot of them are in retail sector, stores. I've taught classes, a lot of spiritual, it's all spiritually entwined. So it's a life that I eat, sleep, and breathe, but I'm also very balanced. So anyway, that's me. I'm going to pass it over to Heather, and she's going to introduce herself. And again, she's a co-host, and she'll definitely be helping contribute a lot to the vibe of Real and Raw. So super excited to have her on. She brings a lot to the table.
Steph, I'm excited to just be on here with you. I've been a nurse practitioner since 2007. Before that, I was a nurse, cardiopulmonary, acute care. I've been doing aesthetic medicine for a long time, since 2012.
So what's aesthetic medicine?
We know each other. So, things like medical aesthetics, Botox, dermal fillers, chemical peels, things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
But I love about you is that we met, and obviously you're doing this piece, and she's amazing at it, by the way. Wow. Look at me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm a front. No, I'm joking. No,
it's true.
But she has a spiritual component to her. So I'm sorry I interjected, but like that's, to me, it was the draw, because we both live in this world of there's a slight, I wouldn't even want to call it vanity, but whatever you want to call it, maybe other people do.
Well, I think, it's not that we struggle with it, but you and I have talked about it over time, like, is it okay to be doing these things, but also, be spiritual at the same time? Like if we're hovering, in this world.
I know, it's all good.
It's like right there. If we're hovering in this world of like being here, but also having to,
live here.
We're living in this physicality world.
Yeah.
But we're also, having to, be accountable for all these other things that, we have to worry about, like spiritually, like.
Right. And that's something that most people, I wouldn't say most, many people aren't thinking about. So that's the draw, at least for me, to you, is that you wake up and both of us are kind of like, okay, if I do this in life, what's the repercussion for me after this life? And I really kind of think that's probably, it pins it pretty well.
Yeah, like the vanity aspect of it. Does it make me, not, does it bring my, energy levels down or my frequency down to the point where it doesn't really count anymore? That kind of
right.
thing. Like,
well, it's a balance.
Should I be
right?
Is it okay for me to be doing this, and should I just be sitting in the woods and
right, a balance again.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. So
exactly.
Now I want to kind of go back to you. So now you're a nurse practitioner. You are also very spiritual, but you did some TV stints.
Some reality.
Yeah. So this girl was on The Bachelor. Yeah, check her out. I think it was season 9.
Oh God. I don't know. It was 2006.
I feel like I did a light stalking on it.
Yeah.
Just a little perusing around. And I feel like it was season 9. So we'll save that for another time. But so yeah, I didn't. I just read it. But I did some TV selling. So we both have a little bit of that background.
Yeah.
Definitely did not do reality TV. I think I would have blundered
you
for
totally
sure.
Could.
No, anyway. So let's get back. Let's just actually start talking about water fasting and what that has done for both of us. Because I don't know. I feel like I'm this poster child for, oh my God, it changed my life. Like I get really excited about it.
It does, yeah.
And what that has actually done. So what's the longest fast that you have done, and how long when did you start doing
the
this?
longest I've done was 72 hours, but I've done multiple 24-hour fasts.
Okay.
And then I've done the intermittent fasting.
Right, which is I'm telling it's a game changer. I feel like this whole food pyramid, like they've kind of scammed it out a little bit because
Oh, it's a scam.
yeah, yeah,
I know that now.
yeah, it sort of is. So it's like we're trying to peel back these layers of, okay, what have we been misled on? And it feels like there's, to me, so much that it's slightly overwhelming.
What is it, like 7 grain carbohydrate?
Yeah, I don't
servings
subscribe to
a day?
any of
I mean,
it.
it's like
Yeah.
something ridiculous.
It is. So, but okay, so water fasting, you started doing it. What was the biggest thing you noticed about water fasting for you?
First, it's, why did I want to do it? I wanted to do it because I just felt like the need to detox.
Okay.
Like get out the sugar or the
Right.
drink, any alcohol, anything that was impure. Just, detox.
Right.
But it wasn't just, I'm just going to water fast. It was like a gradual spiritual, inclination, that desire, like, what are we doing here? What is the truth? What's the meaning of life? Those kinds of questions.
Right.
That I think most people ask at some point in their life if they have any kind of like.
I'm not sure everybody does, but I mean, I would think.
I would hope.
Well, yeah, some people it's on their deathbed. I would say my dad did that on his deathbed, and I thought, holy shit! After 66 years, this is the first time you're actually voicing this. So yeah,
maybe they have to come to that point.
Maybe everybody, maybe. So everybody's a little different.
It's more of that. Like,
okay.
Like it starts out the question of what is everything about, and then it just sort of evolves into these things that you can do here in the physical world to help bring you to the answers to that question.
Right. To kind of
whether it's
take the physical, like the detoxing helps to kind of purify our minds and our bodies and our souls. So I'm gonna say
purifying
yes.
the temple.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
But I started off a little different. So I started maybe in 2018. So not like, what is that? The math. I don't even know where we're at here. Seven-ish years. Yeah. So that was the first time I decided to do it, and I did it personally because I wanted. I must have been eating a lot of carbs, a lot of pasta, stuff like that, and I felt really bloated.
Sugar.
Sugar. That's my nemesis. That's like my
acid. It turns into an acid.
Yeah. So I was definitely inflamed, and I felt uncomfortable, and I felt like I needed people. I'd done a lot of research on it, and just listening to people's testimonials, and I thought, you know what, this feels right to me. I've always done like, I don't know, colonics and stuff like that. So that kind of realm is the stuff that I love to do, right? I mean, I was fascinated with the colonics. That we'll talk about that another one. Yeah, we'll do one, and maybe we'll, podcast it from the doctor's. No, I'm kidding. That's gross.
So many things that just bring that. It's like you have this desperate need to bring yourself to this like level of truth.
Yeah,
and of what is everything about? Kind of
right. And they do for energy purposes. It's a lot of density, right? When you've got the
like a weighing down body weight.
Yes, absolutely. So I wanted to lose some lbs, to be totally fucking honest.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
So and
spiritual lbs.
Yeah.
And physical.
I
lbs.
didn't know that I was doing it first. I might have said, oh, I want to do this for spiritual reasons, which I did, but I certainly wanted the physical aspect of losing the weight. If I'm going to be honest.
Well, I mean, I think that's how it's a good thing because it's sort of covering everything. It's taking care of you in a lot of
in
ways.
all kinds of ways.
Mental, emotional, physical, spiritual.
Yeah, and I feel like for me the biggest thing that I noticed was the willpower that I sort of I needed to work through the mental muscles that it creates, right? And I was like, holy shit, like. All of a sudden, I now, other things in my life are just easier to do because I crush this. I mean, think about it. I don't know hardly anybody, maybe 10 people in my entire life that have done a water fast. So food is such a huge part of
not easy.
our life, right?
Not easy.
And so when you extract that, you extract one a lot of time. You get a lot of time, but you also, it's this mental dance with yourself of, I can do this. No, I'm hungry. No, actually, you're really not, in the first day at least.
Oh, it's a whole other voice in your head.
Oh,
like,
several.
with
You only
you.
have one. I've got
with
like
you.
15 competing for
Saying,
my time.
What do you mean? Well, you got another. It's hey, you're only this many hours in. You've got another. Blah 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 blah. And it seems like an eternity.
Right.
Doesn't it seem like an eternity?
It's like a battle going on to, to keep that willpower. But like when you can get through another day or, even another freaking hour, I'm like, I feel badass. So at the end of
it's a training. It's a training.
It is. It's a mental
training.
muscle training for willpower, right? So I think it's, of all the things I've ever done for willpower, this is the thing that like catapults me to wherever it is I need to be. So now let's just talk about it for anybody that's thinking, oh my God, that sounds so crazy. Listen, I will tell you, I'm an ADHD girl. I am
ADD, not the H.
Oh, I have the.
I'm the D.
I don't know. I
ADD,
think
not
they've
the
dropped
H.
that recently. But
I mean, I don't bounce around like
yeah. Oh, I do. I bounce
I just
around
go,
for sure.
I need to put all of these things that are in this bubble above my head into
Right.
a Rolodex.
Oh no, I'm like bing, bing,
Like a jump. My
yeah,
jumping
yeah,
spider
like
that's
burst of creativity and a little mania at times. But
Well, let me add, I'm just going to add one thing to this real
Sure.
quick with the ADD. So you were talking about the acuity of all these things. So I think with this water fasting, you are, you're kind of addressing the whole mental, spiritual, emotional. We just went over that, but it's kind of like, even if it's just a 3-day thing, a 24-hour thing, it's kind of like, in medical aesthetics, we talk about skin fitness.
Right.
It's skin fitness when you're doing these treatments like, like microneedling for, collagen induction. If you're working out, doing heavy weights, you're kind of like, that's just physical fitness.
okay.
These kinds of things, like we're talking about, is more of a, it's harder. It's
Yeah.
much harder. It takes a lot more effort.
Well, because the rest of the world's not doing it too. So it's not even you're just up against your own mind. You're up against society. I mean, I could not believe the number of people when I'd say, "Are they? You want to go to lunch?" Or I'm like, "Oh, I'm water fasting." Like the comments that would come, or it's a really difficult thing just in society to. I'll just say I did a 7-day water fast and I was kicking ass, man. I never felt better. I wasn't hungry. Like after about 3 days, your body decides, I think don't quote me on this. We're not doctors, by the way, guys. She might be a nurse, but we are not here to, provide medical. These are just our personal, our personal stories about this. So day 7, it was a Saturday, and I happened to be going to dinner with a bunch of friends, and I broke the water fast because I knew that this would make this table of people wildly uncomfortable if I was like, no, I'll just have some tap water. I'm good.
Oh, yeah.
So it really does.
I don't think it's something we should be doing. I mean, and we learn that later, but, we're both so social, so, like, it's kind of like, how are we going to just hide out?
Yeah, how do you hide? How do you manage not eating, and then it doesn't become this whole dinner topic?
Judgment.
Yeah, of wait, why are you doing this? And now it's I don't know why that still makes people uncomfortable when people aren't drinking.
Well, because it's very
that
difficult, and they don't.
It's a social
have any
thing.
desire to do it. They might have a desire to do it, but they can't do it. It's not.
Well, they think they
easy
can't
to
do it. Anybody can do it. You put
Anybody
a
can
gun
do
to
it.
somebody's head, and anybody can do
They can
practically
do it.
anything.
Well, they can do it with a gun.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's aggressive, and please don't, but you know what I'm saying? Like when people say, "Oh, I can't do it," I'm like, bullshit. I'm gonna call bullshit on you right now because if you were in an extreme circumstance, this would be easy. for you,
Right.
right?
If
So it's
you
all
want
about the mental, where you are in that, your
Yes.
perception, the mental space you're in, and just your, yeah, like, I'm that girl. I'll just dive in because I think I've failed so many times at so many things that I'm like, failure doesn't
up.
scare
Back
me
up and
anymore.
do it.
Like, I'm used
do
to
it.
it. I got
Yeah.
skin knees and not from other things. But
Yes.
yeah. So okay. So let's dive into the actual benefits of why this is good for us. One, we are detoxing. So all these toxins are able to come out of our body, right? Like sugar, mostly to me, I'm like the food aspect, but there's more than that. There's like heavy metal detoxing, like all this stuff is happening, right?
Right.
Right. What else? Inflammation.
Inflammation is a really big one.
Oh, that's like what's happening all around America, right? Like they're saying inflammation is one of the biggest,
Well, our foods.
yes,
Our food is just so
laced with
so many bad
chemicals
things.
and shit.
I mean, we've just learned recently, like, in Europe, there are certain things that they've pulled years ago.
They're
that we
banned
still
from
have
most
here. They're
countries, but
banned,
we're
and
like, no, bring in the red
like,
dye,
because
bring it
we're the
in.
consumers. We're the consumers here. It's definitely, I think inflammatory is the biggest one because, at the end of the day, we die due to inflammation. A series of,
Different, yeah. There's a medley of
inflammatory
ways you
conditions.
can do it. There's not just one, right? But
Right.
there's
It's-
inflammation
that's
for
just
sure.
That's at the end of the day, that's how we die. I mean, and so if we can sort of, eliminate a lot of that or at least scale it back.
And what happens is you slow it down
Slow
too.
it down.
So that was one of the biggest things I noticed was after day one. I mean, there's like water purging because your body's like holding on to so much, water weight,
Junk,
right? Just
everything,
crap,
just
right? So it's just
crap.
flushing that all out of your system. So day two, I was like, okay, cool. And then
Day two. That's
yeah,
the
day
hardest
two
day.
to me
me,
it
it
was
was-
the hard. Some people breeze right through, but day
No,
one's
I
usually
did not.
easy. Day two, day three, is when I start to. I'm like, no, you got this. Like,
Just keep going.
just keep going. And it's nice when you have a friend to do it with because
Like
you
a-
kind of
like
keep,
a-
yeah, like
almost
keeping
like
a check
an
buddy,
accountability.
yeah, like your sponsor, your partner. I don't know,
Yeah.
but
Right,
I
right.
love it. So other things that happen are insulin levels, which I guess is part of the inflammation, right? I mean,
Well, I mean, you're not going through this process of spiking your glucose and dropping your glucose and spiking and dropping and being tired and having energy and being energetic.
so you're
and tired.
giving your liver and kidneys
and pancreas,
all
you're
of
just
it.
giving your whole digestive system. Like, I mean, everything's taking a break.
Yes.
Everything's taking a break. You're pressing the reset button in general everywhere.
okay.
Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It just pressing. You're training yourself as well to do something that's a discipline.
Right.
There's more discipline to this than just, going and lifting weights or anything else.
Right.
It's a really difficult thing to do
Right.
because you have to go on with life too.
Right. I think one of the coolest statistics I found on this was 60% of your body's energy is expended digesting food. Now let's just let that sink in.
Oh, well,
Like
that makes sense.
60%. So when I think again, don't quote me on this. I think at maybe 48 hours when you don't have anything in your stomach, your digestive system's like, okay, are you real? I think you're really stopping. So now I'm going to finally shut down. I don't see anything else coming in and there's not been anything coming in for a while. So we're going to shut down. Then that's when the magic starts to happen. That's when
I feel like you notice it too.
oh God,
Like,
you
you
do. Well,
kinda go,
notice it in all
"Oh,
kind of
It's
ways.
coming on. It's coming on.
Yeah, well, in the form of detoxing, you get that lovely white tongue. It's like because one of the biggest detoxers, right, is the tongue.
Yeah. And the
Yes, yeah, because you're not. Yeah, you're not really. You can't. You're not chewing food, so the saliva is not happening or whatever.
Yeah.
But like 60% is a huge number.
Huge.
So what happened to me on one of my fast was I was at day 5, and I noticed I was starting to sleep. I needed a little less sleep, so I was waking up at like 3 a.m. fully ready to roll.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, something's not, look, go back to bed. And then finally, after a couple days, I was like, wait a minute. I'm not tired because I don't need as much energy
Right.
to work on my body. That's what rest is for,
Right.
right? So think about it. That 60% is now going into all the other body
Everything
parts.
else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I had like 2 injuries, and I remember waking up. I had this water skiing accident maybe 2-3 years before my first fast, and I grabbed the back of my leg so hard. So I mean, there's
So
pain.
that's where the injury was.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But like there's pain sometimes that's
Yeah.
associated with, detoxing and that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I woke up and I was like, what the hell? Well, I realized, oh my God, that's the hamstring that popped.
Yeah.
So it finally, like it didn't,
Like it was reminding you, like,
oh, here,
it
I have
was,
time.
but now it's
Yeah, and we're finally getting to this because you shut your pie hole for a couple of days.
shut your fucking mouth.
Shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Shut your fucking mouth. Where did that come? It was a Wedding Crash.
Yeah, I think it's Wedding
Shut your
Crashers.
mouth
Yeah,
when
I'm
you're
pretty.
talking to
Shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, I shut my mouth, and all this gloriousness started to happen. But yeah, so that was huge. But did you notice the clarity? I want you to talk
So
about
that was a big one, and it came in so many different forms for me. Not just like, my mind clarity. It was, like still-
no, I don't
like,
know. Nobody
well,
else is
okay,
knowing. So why
well,
don't you
when
let
I
us
say
in?
It, though, you're gonna go, yeah, girl.
Oh,
I
yeah.
had that same kind of thing.
Yeah, girl.
So it was things like,
No,
was
I don't.
walking- I was walking, running, jumping.
Yeah. No.
I was just kind of like going throughout my day, having a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Completely had not had anything in my system for at least a month.
Right.
No caffeine, no alcohol, anything. And then the water fast came.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there like, okay, that's over with. I'm going to have a cup of coffee now and just chill.
Yeah.
And then it was around Easter. So this was the perfect spiritual time in the Christian world. Not that I'm
Yeah.
fully into that, but that was a perfect
Yeah.
time for it.
Right.
So I'm sitting there drinking my coffee. I had an Easter plant next to me, which was what's the purple and pink one that smells so pretty? Looks like
I don't know.
God.
A lily?
No.
Easter lilies?
there are oh gosh.
All
anyway,
right. We'll put a
smells
pin in it.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Sitting next to me, and I'm looking at my coffee, and it starts completely no entheogens, no hallucinogens, nothing like
Right. So you weren't tripping while this was
Wasn't
happening.
tripping.
Okay. Cool. Good to know on
that.
Easter.
Looking at but we could trip on Easter. if we want.
Okay.
That's not to say we don't have to do that.
Okay.
So I'm looking at this, steam coming off my
Okay.
coffee, and it's going in this spiral.
Oh.
And then I look over at this little Easter plant that I have.
Is that called a Fibonacci, or and I'm making that up?
Fibonacci sequence? Well, yeah,
Okay.
it's the God print. And
Okay.
there's
The
like,
DNA strands.
oh God, that's
Okay.
a whole podcast.
All right. Well, let's. Yeah. I'm sorry. I pumped the brakes on that.
All of it.
Okay.
So it's coming up as a spiral, and I'm looking at it, not like what the fuck is that? Just pay attention.
Okay.
Let's pay attention now. Pay
So you're being
attention.
present.
Being
So
present,
it's forcing you to be
looking at
present.
it.
Yeah.
appreciating this, formation.
Right. So you're not doing
From
what
my
I'm doing. I'm just like,
From my coffee.
like just drinking the
Now,
coffee haphazardly, not
those,
paying attention.
Yeah. So those people out there who, trip
Mm-hmm.
would be like, yeah, man, I would love to be on some shrooms and see that shit, whatever. But
Right.
this is coming from, I came off of a water fast. I had detoxed my body
Right.
in general for a solid month. I had been meditating, keeping my thoughts clear as possible.
Right.
And this started happening.
Right, because your energy is different. And that's
So you're
that to me.
changing
It's
that
you're changing. You're
frequency,
high. Yes,
vibration.
you're hiring that vibration,
Yeah.
that frequency.
Yes. So, and then I'm looking over at this plant, like within seconds.
Okay.
And it's looks like, pixie dust coming off.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of like, wow, it looks like these little glittery gold dust, pixie dust things
Oh.
flying off of this plant. And then I'm saying, whoa,
Right. You're like, I'm not on
Just-
anything. I'm not drinking. I'm not smoking. I'm not doing
don't
anything.
even say whoa.
Yeah.
Don't even say,
Just
don't
go
do
with it.
anything and just be present and pay attention to this moment.
Right.
Because it's seconds. It's seconds.
Right. Right. And
Seconds
those are
of the spiral,
moments.
seconds of the pixie dust. Just sit and appreciate it.
Right.
And, you know, smells are, you know, not to get off on a tangent, but like just a very quick insert. I read a book a long time ago about psychopaths, the wisdom of
Oh,
psychopaths,
okay.
and it's Kevin Dutton, and you know one of the things that they all had in common was their olfactory sense was completely almost obliterated. They had no sense of smell. These psychopaths.
Okay.
That's the opposite of this. That's heightened beyond, and
Right.
the olfactory sense is even stronger than the audible sense. Like, you know how you hear a song from the past and it's very nostalgic.
Yes.
And maybe if you smell something too,
Yes.
like a tree or a plant or something when you were a little child. For me, it's certain types of flowers that my
Okay.
dad used to have.
Okay.
This was like that. You know, it was like the smell was just so much more intense. Everything was heightened. Every sense was heightened. Visual, audible,
Yes.
olfactory.
My friend, who is actually, she's an atheist, so she decided to do a water fast with me,
Good.
and she said, "Steph, I don't understand. Why is everything so vivid? Why is everything?" She's like, "It's like I'm
Yeah.
walking in a 3D." I'm like, "Well, I think it's 3D
Well, we
anyway."
live in 3D.
Yeah.
You're going in 5D, girl.
Right.
You're in 5D.
Yeah. So
When you dream at night, that's 4. Now you're in 5.
okay. Yeah. So she said that, and she was right. Like all my senses were heightened, and I think it's because we weren't dulled down by the foods, but again, this the whole heightening of our energetic being, right? So anyway, all right. So the most I did was 7, but
Yeah, that's intense.
yeah, but okay, for any of you that are thinking, okay, I don't give a shit about the spiritual part. Like I was clued in. I want to know about the weight loss, right?
Yeah, just
okay.
let me get
like who gives a shit? Because that's kind of how I mean, the spiritual part would have been a bonus, but I was really like, I need to do something fast. I'm like
Yeah.
all in,
Yeah.
or I'm all out. So
Right. And
but I
it's a
noticed
7-day thing, right?
yeah, I noticed for me personally, and I want to see about you, like it restarted my metabolism.
Yeah.
Like I lost probably, I think I have it written down. It was like 10.7 pounds in a week. Now, a lot of that half of it is water weight. But what I noticed was it reset my relationship with food. Right. I started looking at what I was eating more consciously. Do I want to put this in my mouth instead of just shoveling in whatever it was?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
how am I going to feel after this? So it really reset my mind and my relationship
You
with
had a
food.
thought process beforehand rather than just impulsively
yeah.
going, give me
Autopilot.
you were-
Yeah.
Autopilot.
Yeah, I was
autopilot.
totally on
Thinking.
autopilot.
Yeah.
So that still
Yeah.
that does happen to me when I I do reset it, but that was huge, you know. So anyway, I kind of lost myself. I need you to
No, I think you're right. I think it's, I didn't do the 7-day, but just with the 3-day and the multiple 24-hour ones that I've done and some of the intermittent stuff. It does.
intermittent's good. That's a
Intermittent's good.
whole nother podcast. Okay, so we need to talk real quick about, because I think we're going to wrap it up here, but autophagy. Okay, that to me, when I started to read about this, I was like,
And there's
wait.
so much more we can learn something.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, hold the fuck on
Yeah.
right now, because what is this?
It's like cannibalism of your own eating itself, like in a good way.
But what is it eating? It's damaged cells.
Damaged cells.
It's damaged cells. And so what happens is, for the way that I'm able to kind of describe it is, any of those old degenerated cells that we've got, and that's where cancer comes from. That's where
Feeding
any
cancer anymore.
What's that?
Not feeding the cancer.
Correct. So the sugar feeds cancer, but like we're not feeding it. But what we're actually doing, just not even by not feeding it, we're like taking it hostage and dumping it. So, like as many, I know people that have done it for 40 days, and their markers
Yes,
are
I know
so
someone who's done it for 40
different.
days.
No, and I will say, from just doing this from 2018 is when I started. My medical records, like they can't find a freaking thing wrong with me. Like there's nothing, and I do attribute it to the longer fast. Because listen, anybody that knows me, they'll be like, "Oh, bullshit! Steph Schuler eats a lot of sugar. Like I love birthday cake, and but I'm able to balance it, and I think that I was on the border for a while for hypoglycemia. I wonder why, right? That's like the opposite, but then it becomes diabetes. And I was like, I don't want that.
Like almost like you become your own liver, like filtration system. Like I'm going to eat this sugar, but I know that when I do this fast, I'm going to dump all of it.
Yes,
like
I'm dumping it. I'm like, okay, old guys, all you old guys, all you cancer cells, guess what? We're about to pack it up because I'm going to go extreme on your asses.
Yeah.
And so that's, I mean, I know that.
Starve your asses.
Yeah, I'm not, I don't follow like a really completely balanced, but I know when it's time, and I know like, okay, that to me, like if anybody can get something out of this, I would say research autophagy, look into it. It is a game changer. It absolutely, if you're suffering from any health issues like this, you know, obviously you got to go talk to your doctor, and most people are going to tell you this is extreme, don't do it, right? But do your own research. That's what I feel like this podcast is really about, is like we're going to give you things that we find that work for us or we find interesting, and it's up to you to decide, hey, I think that's bullshit. I'm going to keep eating, you know, Cheetos and Diet Cokes, and then
evidence-based medical.
Yeah, but like we're kind of learning that there's a lot of stuff that you know, the FDA has been. Sorry, I hope we don't get like flagged or something. Well, but you know that we've just been misled a lot about.
I think most
health.
People understand that now. That
I think a lot of people do
since COVID. You know, I mean,
yeah, for sure.
Kind of like they, you know. Who is they?
Yeah. Oh, I know they.
You know, when you overplay your hand and really assume that the entire world is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like they're basically just a bunch of useless eating dumbasses, and we're gonna just do whatever we want to them.
Yeah.
And that's not what we are.
No, we're like, no, we're not. And we're gonna we're peeling back these layers, one little layer at a time. And I do feel water fasting is a great way to you know,
like reset,
but undo some of the stuff that we've you know had, and people will say to me now, I maybe it's because you do my Botox every 9 months, but they will say to me, people that you know, haven't seen me in 20 years, they're like, what the fuck, like you look so much better now than you did. I was like, I'll take that as a compliment. I don't take that as an insult.
You're also very aware and very, you know, like you're very attentive to your skincare. Like you take really good care of your skin.
Thank you. Well,
you hydrate, you know.
Yeah, but I know, I mean, skincare, yes, I do take care.
But, you know,
it starts from the inside. Yeah, and that's where I'm like, you can't.
Right, even like my clients will say to me, well, what do I need to put on my face? I need this, and they do. But I also,
you're like, how much water are you drinking? Let's just start with that.
How are you hydrating? What are you taking supplement-wise? Are you, you know, taking...
Are you an angry individual? Mm-hmm. Are you, you know, stressed out?
Inside? Yeah. Are you drinking a lot? Are you smoking? What are you doing?
Right, right. Absolutely. Oh, and that is one thing. Oh shoot! I already lost it. I mean, do you do that? That's the age part of the D.
That's me with the
menopause.
Brain fog with the menopause thing.
Oh well, I must have piggybacked off of it because I just had something, and within 5 seconds it was gone.
You're right behind me, girl.
Yeah,
but
so,
you know what?
All right, we're gonna wrap this up so that we don't.
Yes,
we can do another one. So thank you guys for listening, and if you guys have any comments or you have any questions about water fasting, we can definitely give you our personal experience. Again, we are not doctors. We are not recommending this as,
the
you know.
disclaimer is we are
you do your own research. This is just, you know, two ladies and our experience with it, and we think it's kick-ass.
It's opinion only.
It's opinion only. All right.
Experience.